What's up, YouTube? George's Silver Hunter back, and today we'll be hunting a box of $50. Now, this box is a little bit for show because these quarters actually came from my local Fifth Third, and I brought them home in my little blue bin, which hasn't made an appearance on this channel in quite some time because the bank did not have a box to give me. And I got a mix of, I think these are Brinks, just orange wrapped quarter rolls. And I don't know what this is, about 13 rolls of customer wrapped quarters. So we're going to get a little bit of a Frankenstein box here. So we've got some customer wrap, we've got some Fed wrapped, and this is going to be a fun hunt, I think. Now, as I took them out of my blue bin and put them in here, I did want to organize them by customer wrapped and Fed, but I weighed them as well as I've told you guys I do on my channel. And these first three rolls all weighed a little weird. So I wanted to do those three rolls first. So we'll talk about those here in just a second. But let me go ahead and get this box pushed back, and I'll bring you in, and we'll go through those first three rolls together. Okay, so for those of you that are new to my channel, I do like to weigh my rolls. I don't weigh every roll I get. I don't weigh rolls all the time. But one of the things I do like to do is to weigh the rolls to understand what might be in them. And I've recently done a video on that on my channel around $50. Again, weighing them just tells you what might be in them. It gives you some clues as to what might be in them, but you'll never know until you open the roll. And remember I told you in the intro that the first three rolls weighed a little bit funny. I'm just pulling one roll out of the middle here to show you, and hopefully you guys can see the thing on the weight on the screen. The average roll of circulated quarters weighs in the upper 227 grams to maybe the upper 228 grams. I have found that if you have a brand new roll of 2022 quarters, it can weigh a lot higher than that without any wear on those coins. But typically, once you get over that kind of upper 228s or below the high 227s, something weird's going on. So, as I said, those first three rolls weighed a little weird. This customer wrap roll weighed 238.8. That is huge. That means this is either loaded with silver or it's got extra quarters in it. I don't even have to open it to know it's probably one of those two things. Here's a Fed wrapped roll, and I just showed you one that was in the 228s. This one's 233.1. If I had to guess, just feeling it, it's probably got one extra quarter in it, or possibly a little bit of silver. And this third roll, we're at 229, which is a little bit heavy. Not much. So this could potentially have a silver coin in it, or it could just have a bunch of the newer quarters in it to throw the weight up to 229 or higher. So I did want to go through that with you. We'll open these up and see if I'm right, or at least if I was directionally right. So let's start with the customer wrapped roll. Now, when I hunt quarters, I do have a document in my description down below that talks about all of the things that I hunt. We are looking, there are a ton of quarter varieties. Of course, we're also looking for silver, which would be anything from 1964 and earlier. And we're looking for those highly desirable W minted or West Point minted quarters. So I'm not going to hunt these right here on camera, but let's just count them to see if I was right that they were over. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So there's a roll of quarters. I did, in fact, end up with 2 extra quarters. Now, I will... Oh, look at that. I got a bicentennial. Pretty nice one, too. It's Denver. There is a DDO for this quarter. I'll put that under the scope here when I hunt this roll and see if we actually have something really interesting there in the first customer wrapped roll. That would be really neat. Okay, the second roll was the heavy one, I think. Let's see here. Let's reweigh, make sure I have them right. I want to do the next heavy, not that one. This was the one that was 233, I think. I'm going to guess that this has one extra quarter in it, because a quarter does weigh about 5 grams. It'd be great if there was silver in it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So So just looking at the edges, we do have a bunch of really shiny stuff in here. I'll look real quick to see if any of that, none of that's silver. That's just gray. That's just gray. So I'm not seeing silver. So as I go, well, let's see if I was right. Let's see if there was an extra one. $35, $41. So that was a Fed wrapped roll with an extra quarter in it. So probably not going to find any silver in that just based on the weight. So that's roll number 2. And this 229 has probably just got a number of the new 2022 quarters in it. And we'll know that by all the shiny edges. So let's just see. And hopefully that shows up on camera. But as I do that, you can see all of the shiny edges that are kind of glaring out of this coin or out of this box. So there's one, there's one. That's actually a 2020 or a 2019 or a 2020. There's one. There's going to be a bunch of those newer quarters in there, and that's why that one weighed a little bit heavy. All right, so that said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start hunting, and I will bring you guys in at our first find. So in that first roll, we did end up with that bicentennial, and I'm getting through that second roll. If you recall, I had it all laid up there, and that third Fed wrap roll is still sitting up there. But I did come across one of the Delaware 1999. If you look right here, it is the Spitting Horse variety. It has a die crack coming right out of the horse's mouth. And this is actually one of the pretty good ones because that crack extends all the way down into the edge of the coin. That's pretty cool. I think this is probably only the second or third one of these I've found, so pretty excited to have it. So we just cracked into roll number 5, and while the Fed wrapped roll gods giveth, they also taketh away. You can see right here that I have a roll stuffed with a nickel. And it's not even a nice nickel. It's a 2011p with some Ring of Death. Oh well. Just cracked into roll 26, and I didn't bring you in, but a couple of rolls ago, I ended up getting another nickel, a 1993D in pretty bad shape. So that's twice I've been shorted. So that's 20 cents each time I'm shorted. And getting into roll 26, we have another nickel. It's getting kind of crazy in here with all of these nickels. Let's see here. We got a 2007p. So that's 60 cents I've been shorted by the Fed. So we've cracked into roll 29, and this is starting to get a little bit ridiculous because we are on another nickel in a quarter roll. It'd be nice if they were at least war nickels, but they're not. They're new nickels, 2017D. Not even a nice one. We're on roll 37, and this is an error that I could actually see with the naked eye. And this is probably now the second or third largest die chip on the Crossing the Delaware I've ever found. And you can see it very clearly here at the top of the hat just with the camera. Let me put it under the scope so you can really get a good look at it. There it is, right there. That is one of the larger front of the hat die chips that you're going to find. I found one kind of like this a couple of boxes ago, and if recollection serves me, these go for pretty good money on eBay, but maybe they were only kind of in that $8 to $10 range. I'll cover that in the wrap-up, but still, love finding when you get a big die chip like this. I did find one earlier, and I didn't bring you in because it was just one of the smaller die chips on the back of the hat, and I've been finding those for months and months. And they're not worth that much money, but I do still pull a couple of them when I go through quarter boxes. So anyway, 2 Crossing the Delawares with some pretty good die chips on them. Towards the end of the same roll, I've actually already pulled it and put it under the scope. It's one of the new 2022, and you can kind of see it already here just on the camera. But under the scope, it's really obvious. It is one of the Drooling Georges, and this is one of the bigger die chip versions you can find. It covers the entire portion of the corner of his mouth. I think this was the Maya Angelou one, though. Let me look here. Yep, it is the Maya Angelou. I'm still hunting for, there is a variety, it's called the Bird's Nest, where he's got a little like die chip or die crack that goes kind of through his mouth. It looks like he's holding a twig. I've been hunting for that one for quite some time, and I haven't found it, but I've always got my eye out for it. So we're on roll 40, and we've gotten into the, this was like the second or third customer wrapped roll, and let me see if I can get these to stand up one-handed here. But we got some interesting stuff in here. A couple of things that are obviously not quarters. Let's check this out. I mean, this is actually a little larger than a quarter and definitely not silver. Let's see here. What is it? It is a 2002 1 rupee from India. I don't think I've ever found one of those, but it's a foreign. We'll put it up on the board. And I've got something else in here. Again, it's a little larger than a quarter. These were a little hard to slide out of the wrap, so I knew something was a little off as I took them out. It is, let's see here, what is that? Texas Rangers. Looks like some sort of token. I have no idea what that is. I'll have to look that up. If you know, let me know in the comments down below. But it looks like it's maybe just a big piece of nickel or some other kind of metal. No idea what this is, though. But we'll put it up on the board as a find. So we are nearing the end of the box. We are on roll, I think this is, what, 47? 47. And we have come across something we haven't found in this box. But we did find a bunch of these, at least the S-clad proofs, or I'm sorry, not proofs, business strikes in the last quarter hunt that I did. I haven't looked at the reverse yet. Let's check it out. We have a Georgia Cumberland Island. I want to say in my last full box quarter hunt, I found like 5 of these. So these Georgia business strikes apparently are all over Georgia because I've been finding these like crazy. Now this one's pretty beat up compared to some of the ones I found in the last hunt, but it's a find nonetheless. On the very next roll, I just got them out of the wrap, and I've got something really suspicious looking here towards the end of the roll. Normally I would say this is silver, but just due to the reading on it, I'm going to say it's either Canadian or possibly one of those like plated or painted quarters that I've found from time to time. Other coin roll hunters have found. I'm not exactly sure what those things are when I found them, but let's take a look together. I'm thinking it's going to be Canadian though. Let's see. No, it is one of those, looks like plated quarters. It's a Delaware 1999, but look at that edge. There is not one bit of copper in that edge. Had I not seen these before, I would have said this was silver all day long, but or Canadian, because Canadians read this way too. But it's a decent looking quarter, but it's just a quarter. Well, we've reached the end of the box, and I wanted to do a quick recap for you and talk a little bit of value here. Starting over here on the left, we did have our San Francisco business strike. Georgia Cumberland Island quarter. I have found a lot of these, and they are pretty rare. I'll put the mintage in the lower right-hand corner. These San Francisco business strikes are actually, I think, even more rare than West Points, but they just don't carry a lot of value. On eBay, I want to say, you know, a couple $1, $2, $3 for these things if they're in BU condition, where, you know, a West Point quarter will command $10 to about $30. So anyway, I mean, I do love finding these. They are super low mintage, and I would say highly collectible. There's just not a lot of value in them. The Drooling George, I just have found so many of these, and people are selling these things pretty regularly on eBay. I would feel bad taking more than about $1 or $2 for one of these because they are so very common. But the 2 that I showed you earlier in the video are pretty severe versions. The die chip is really, really large. A lot of them that I've seen around eBay, they're smaller die chips and a little bit of a die crack around the mouth. But I've been finding those really consistently in every single quarter hunt. Of the Crossing the Delaware, there are lots of these out there that have, you know, the die chip in the back. The size of this one, this could go, you know, these on eBay, $3, $4, $5 pretty typically. The smaller ones, usually $1 or $2. This larger one I've seen go for as high as $25 to $30, and this coin is in fantastic shape. I mean, it's got a little bit of wear, but it's actually in really, really good shape. That's the kind of thing that I may flip up and actually try to sell. This Texas Rangers token, it's a baseball token. I did find some versions of this that were Coca-Cola, like commemorative tokens or like souvenirs. I don't see a value on them anywhere. They are made of copper and nickel. So there is some precious metal value in there. But that's something I'll just hang on to. Probably won't flip up. I'll just throw it in a cup of my oddities. I also have a little baggie of foreigns. This Indian one rupee. Again, no real value here in the States, but always interesting finding foreign stuff in U.S. coin rolls. I did get shorted by 4 nickels and Fed-wrapped rolls, which is a little bit frustrating. They should be doing a better job than that. Their quality control should be better. Nothing particularly valuable. These are just regular plain old nickels. But to make up for this, we did get an extra quarter and 1 Fed-wrapped roll, and 1 customer wrap had 2 extras. So we were really just shorted by the single nickel. This spitting horse is probably one of the nicest ones I've ever come across. I could very comfortably try to list something like this, but, in an AU condition, maybe even very, very, maybe call it even BU. There might be a little damage there I'm just now seeing, but this is a gorgeous spitting horse, and you can even see it without the microscope, just here on camera. And if I zoom in, it's really obvious. There you can see it in the light. It's a really, really good example of that quarter. That's the kind of thing I'll flip and just put in a flip and keep in my collection. And as usual, I did pull all the bicentennials. I had 6 of the Denvers. None of them had the DDO. One of these days I'm going to find that. And I think I had 8 or 9. What is it? I think 9, 4. Yeah, it was 9 of the Philadelphias. I'll pull out the cleanest ones and hang on to them. Like this one here is pretty cruddy. That one's pretty cruddy. I'll pitch those back. But the nicer ones I'll keep. I make rolls and occasionally sell them from time to time. With that said, I have created a new website. I've actually created it about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I've just not really promoted it. And I'll put a link to that down in the description below. It's just a place I'm going to start listing some of the things that I want to sell to get away from all the eBay fees. So if you're watching any of my videos and you see anything that you're interested in buying and it's not in the store, let me know. And I'll, take the time to put some pictures and put a price on it and get it out there for you. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this quarter hunt. This one was kind of fun. I found a lot of different varieties of things that I don't typically find. So, anytime that happens, I do enjoy the hunt. Finding the same things over and over again can make this a bit monotonous. We were skunked again by silver, but that's pretty typical in a box of quarters. So if you like this video, please do consider dropping down below. Click that like button. If you're not already a subscriber of the channel, consider clicking on that subscribe button, clicking that little bell and selecting all so you get notified each time I release a new video. While you guys are down there, leave me a comment. Let me know if you liked this one. Let me know if you didn't. Happy to change up the format a little bit. Outside of that, I hope you guys are all really doing well. You guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.